And welcome into our Facebook Live audience. This is In the Ruck, brought to you by Rugby Athletic and BLK. Nate Kreckman alongside our in-stadium rugby analyst, Howard Stableford, as well as our sideline reporter, Jenna Anderson, as we get set to bring you two matches today here at Infinity Park. We'll start with the women at 1 o'clock, and then the men at 3 o'clock as the Glendale Raptors today, Howard, taking on the NorCal Pelicans. Two big matches coming up, and it's exciting. The Raptors back on the pitch at Infinity Park and taking on a very worthy opponent today.
Absolutely. The men, of course, come back from a long trip to Boston, having beaten narrowly Mystic River last week. And the women come back to play here today to avenge a very narrow loss last weekend, 14-15, in the Frontier final. Beautiful day for rugby. Both teams are going to be playing NorCal Pelicans, and the NorCal Pelicans are an invitation side of the best players, both men and women. So both teams today are going to be tested.
And of course, GlendaleRaptors.com for all of the ticket information. Tickets just $6. Beautiful day. Bring the family out to Infinity Park. Our first match coming up at 1 o'clock. That'll be the women's side taking on the NorCal Pelicans. And our own Jenna Anderson is here and getting ready to chat with Raquel Serra of the women's team.
All right. Thank you, Nate. Yes, again, I'm here with Raquel Serra from the women's D1 team. Raquel, tell us a little bit about yourself. The fans want to know.
Hi, first off, most of my teammates know me as Ruck. I play scrum half and fly half, and this is my third season with the Glendale Raptors.
Awesome. And where are you from?
I'm from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida.
Awesome. Okay, great. Well, we're super glad to have you a part of the Raptors. You've been a great addition for sure. And tell us about the Frontier playoffs last weekend. You guys did have a tough loss, but you did beat Black Ice in the first game, and this is the first D1 season in the book since WPL came around for the Raptors. So tell us about the season.
Yeah, so first off, our season has been going great. We haven't had the results we quite wanted, but last weekend was a great weekend. We played Black Ice. We had a really great win against them, and then we had to go turn around the next day on Sunday and play a really tough Utah team. And we lost by 1 point, but really the girls left their heart out on the field, and it was a really, really tough fought game. But I think, leading up to it, we've been practicing, and I think we really show them that we're a really tough team to compete against.
Great. So let's check out some women's highlights right now, and we'll take it over to the jumbo screen.
Yeah, this is a game from April against a Utah team, the Utah Vipers. When you look at a very good couple of tries here from the women's team. Nice link up, a really good burst through from the center there. A great line she took, found good support on the left and touchdown for the try. And here's the second one we highlighted from that game from the Raptors. A good linking pass, a nice long out pass, and this is a lovely wide pitch here in Infinity Park. Winger waiting to collect the ball and dots over for the try.
All right, thank you so much for that, Howard. Those were some great plays. Very excited to see you up on the screen too. And Raquel, so I want the fans to know, because a lot of people don't know what the difference is between WPL and D1 in the USA Rugby different divisions. So can you explain how we're a part of that and what teams we include?
So this is our first season as D1. We were beforehand a developmental team, and now this is our first season as D1, and it's a really competitive team instead of just a developmental where we play friendlies. The Women's Premier League is the top-level women's club play in the United States besides the national team, and now they have an addition of 2 more teams added in, so there'll be 10 teams in the Women's Premier League, and that actually is usually just in the fall, starting in September, going through November, whereas D1 starts in the fall and comes into the spring and usually ends in June in the national championship, which will be here in Glendale this year.
That is great for our fans. Thank you so much for letting us know about that. And I'm going to send it back over to the guys. Thanks, Nate.
Thank you, Jenna. And of course, please do not forget 1 o'clock. The women play today against the NorCal Pelicans. GlendaleRaptors.com for all the information, or just come on out to beautiful Infinity Park in Glendale. And now, Howard Stableford standing by. Howard, tell us a little bit more about the very large man to your right.
A very large man, a very fit man, an extremely good player as well. This is Ben Landry. Hi, Ben.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. And first of all, I've got to say congratulations for your selection to the USA Eagles squad for the summer. A very important summer of games coming up for the USA Eagles.
Thank you. Yeah, it's very excited to get selected and be put back in that mix of boys there.
Well, I have to say, your first game is being modest here because they're playing number 3 in the world, Ireland, who are probably, and that's on June the 10th, I think, probably the form team in the entire world, having stopped England's 18-match unbeaten run, and before that, the All Blacks' unbeaten run. So what are your thoughts? If it was me, I'd be terrified of facing Ireland.
No, it's just very exciting. Anytime you get to play a top 3 team in the world, you get really amped up for the game. In fact, I was at the Chicago game when they played the All Blacks, so I was there. I felt the energy in that stadium. You know, a lot of Irish fans in Chicago, and really excited to get out there and play them.
And then at the end of the summer, the USA will play Canada for a place in the Rugby World Cup of 2019 in Japan. And if you're number 1 for the Americas, you get to go into the group of death, which features England, France, and Argentina. How do you feel about that?
You know, that's a byproduct of doing well this summer. You know, our first goal is to win our games this summer and the June tests, and then let the chips fall where they may from there.
Now, you have 4 caps already for the USA Eagles, but you've also been trying out in the NFL for the Seattle team, right?
Yeah, so I got my first caps last year's ARC, and then I came here to play Denver Pro Rugby. But a couple months into the season, I got a call and some interest to have me try out for the Seattle Seahawks. So I went on that ride for a little while, and I've pursued that for the last year. But the chips fell where they may, and found myself back in rugby.
Well, the Seahawks' loss is absolutely our gain here at Infinity Park and the Glendale Raptors. Let's move our thoughts then and attention to today's game against NorCal. But first of all, let's have a look at the guys in action. Let's look at a couple of highlight tries here. This is from a match in February against the Austin Huns. And we start off with a good forwards try. That's a good link inside, dodge inside, and in comes the forwards. And it's Zach Fenolio who eventually picks it up and dots it over for a try. They're a 15-man team in many ways, this Glendale Raptors men's side. Here we see ball picked out to the back of the ruck. Fenolio again in action, draws players, and then Atta Malifa right on his shoulder in the place he should be to pick up the offload and score. And here's another nice try from the Glendale Raptors. Once again, scrum half picks it out to the back of the ruck. Fenolio in action again, out to the wing, and the big number 8 dots over in the corner. So, Ben, has that whetted your appetite for what you'll be doing this afternoon?
Absolutely. I love watching our clips on the big screen. I really like playing with this team. You know, we can do really anything they want to throw at us. If they want to keep it in tight and run a forwards type game like we did last weekend against Mystic River with the wet conditions, we're very comfortable pounding and grounding there. But if it's a nice day like today, we like to spin it out wide and really test our speed. So I think it's going to be exciting. Is
it about what NorCal brings, or is it all about you keeping to your structures, patterns, and open play?
Well, as long as we stick to our pattern, get around the corner, we're really going to open up some things on their defense. They're a very good side, but I think we can exploit some of the stuff that they'll get us on defense.
It's going to be a fascinating contest. Nate, you looking forward to it?
Absolutely. So the men will take the field coming up at 3 o'clock, the women at 1 o'clock. Thank you to everybody who tuned in today, to our Facebook Live audience. Of course, be sure to like the Glendale Raptors on Facebook, like Infinity Park on Facebook. You get all of this fantastic content that we do on In the Ruck, brought to you by Rugby Athletic and BLK. Our thanks again to Raquel Serra from the women's side. Of course, our own Jenna Anderson, who will be working the sidelines today here at Infinity Park. Thanks again to Ben Landry from the men's side, and Howard Stableford will be here to analyze the matches today here at Infinity Park, to take you through it, to make sure that you are the best informed rugby audience you can possibly be here at beautiful Infinity Park. I'm Nate Kreckman. I do all the easy stuff. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. This has been In the Ruck, brought to you by Rugby Athletic and BLK. We'll see you at Infinity Park this afternoon.